All right, welcome back. We continue live right here on Pittsburgh CW. Trace McSorley with a touchdown pass. So Penn State now has jumped back in front of Ohio State 20-14 in the fourth quarter of that game. It's number 4 versus number 9. Always a difficult play at Happy Valley on a whiteout. And Urban Meyer's team really needs this. Really, the winner of this game is in pretty good position when it comes to a national playoff, you would think. The loser would have to have some help along the way. That's how critical this game is in the Big Ten. And we'll see what happens as it goes down the stretch with Penn State holding on to a 20-14 lead. Two of the highest scoring teams in the country heading into this game. So Pitt ends up losing, as I said, 45-14. Didn't look good. Let's waste no time and get to the calls. George in Newcastle would like to sound off about Pitt. Hello, George.
Hi, Bob. Thanks for taking my call.
Sure.
I've got a few points to make.
Okay.
Narduzzi, he's in his 4th year. He owns this team now. My second point is the defense is a dumpster fire. Third point, the offense. You know what? You're in the third quarter. You're down by 30 points. You know what? Why are you huddling up? You've got to get up on the line and press it. You've got to keep going. So I'd like to hear your response, and I'll hang up. Thank you.
All right, thank you, George. What I would say is that, number one, I thought going into this game, in order to keep the ball away from them, they needed long, sustained drives. I would have relied heavily on their run game, which they did, if you remember, before the interception that was thrown by Kenny Pickett that resulted in a corresponding touchdown the other way. They held on to the ball for 6 minutes and 52 seconds. They got nothing to show for it. They can't afford mistakes like that. That was the right recipe, but then he threw the ball after they had successfully run the ball. That team, if you looked at the 4 touchdown drives, the first 4, none of them went over 3 minutes. They were quick strike. And Pitt knew that going in, and they knew it was going to be a tough assignment. So, you know, they just weren't ready to deal with it. So it's year 4 of Narduzzi. My only complaint here is, you know, in college football, they're so quick to give extensions. Narduzzi has had 2 extensions. That's more extensions in 3.5 years than he's had bowl wins. Why the rush to extend? The first time, fine, I understand it. You felt the perception. They had come off a big win over Clemson and Death Valley, and you wanted to get recruited. Fine. The second extension was not necessary, and now where are they in year 4? And I really like Pat Narduzzi. I do. I think he's a very smart man. I think he knows how to coach. But the bottom line is you're judged on results, and the results have not been there. And they're 2-3, looking at 2-5 straight ahead, basically. And I wonder if they will be favored in any other game the remainder of this season. That's a legitimate question and a concern if I'm Pitt Athletics. Line 2 we go. Waylon in Washington. What's up, Waylon? How are you?
Hi, Bob. How are you?
I'm good, thank you.
You're welcome. Yeah, nothing. I don't want to hold you up. But like
you always apologize. You're not holding me up, man. And
well, the thing is, like, you know, it's just briefly, just your opinion. Like, you know, no one's talking about the Ryder Cup. I mean, it is boring. I've been watching it. It's actually boring. Any thoughts about that?
I like the Ryder Cup. I stayed up last night. If you follow me on Twitter, I was up at 4 in the morning tweeting about it. It was just insane. What's wrong with me, you may ask? And that's a legitimate question, too.
I like it. Yes, yes.
No, but I mean, the Americans don't seem to have the passion, and they can't match the Europeans when it comes to it. For some reason, there's a chemistry among those European players. There always has been. You know, the USA has not won overseas in 25 years, and now it's going to be 27 or more after this one because they got a Herculean task. They got to win a lot of singles matches tomorrow, and I don't think they're going to do that.
Right. Right. I don't either. Yeah.
Yeah, so, I mean, I don't know the answer. Tiger Woods in doubles, when he's with a partner, doesn't do well. He's 9-19-1 overall. You know.
Right.
They got a lot. I'm not sure. I don't think Phil Mickelson should have made the team on merit. I thought it should have been Xander Schauffele. Mickelson is a reputation guy. He hasn't played all that well. I would never have picked him on my team this year, and that's all due respect to him. I would have gone with Schauffele. I would have gone with players who deserved to be on my team. Tiger Woods deserved it the way he played. Mickelson did not. Thanks for the call, Waylon. Appreciate that. Line 1 we go. It's John in Johnstown. What's up, brother John?
How are you doing?
Good.
My call is concerning the outrage that was showed towards Stallings, the coach, the basketball coach. And where's the outrage with Narduzzi? I was really disappointed today. I was really looking for a close game or at least a competitive game, and it wasn't there. And I just think this guy was overrated from the beginning. I'm still a Dave Wannstedt, supporter. So I guess maybe it's bitter.
Hey, that's how I was.
I don't know.
That's, but I was the same way. I thought Wannstedt had done enough. I realized they lost games to Cincinnati and UConn. I get that. but they were on the verge of doing something good, and I liked the stability that was created with him. And Steve Peterson just didn't like him, and that was something that was not. It was going to be either Peterson or Wannstedt, one of the two. It ended up being Wannstedt, and it led to a series of other coaching hires that weren't so good. And so here we are. What has changed in Pitt athletics when it comes to football in the last 30 years? Not much. So I don't know the answer. All I know is when you get an opportunity to take on a ranked team on the road or a ranked team at home like they did Penn State this year, you got to show better than you did. You're not ever going to recruit. I mean, Penn State owns Western Pennsylvania when it comes to recruiting. Let's face it, they do. They get the marquee players. Pitt does not. And the only way that's going to change is to win and start winning consistently and winning your own ACC. It's a winnable division of that conference, the Coastal. There are not that many great teams. Pat Narduzzi felt strongly enough that he was going to guarantee that they'd be there. When you do stuff like that, you put yourself out there. I appreciate the optimism, but I also know that that'll come back to bite you, and it will again this year. So they got a long way to go, and they still have a long way to go. How do you dig out from this? How do you make it? You got to get better recruits, but how do you do that when you're recruiting against teams like West Virginia and Penn State in your own backyard? Because those two teams seem to come up with better recruits. Line 3, it's Peter in Johnstown. Hey, Peter, how are you?
Hey, Bob. Good. Thanks for taking my call.
Sure.
I wanted to talk about the Pitt game and the coach in particular. You've already talked about it a lot, but I've been a Pitt fan my whole life. I think one of the reasons that Pitt fans at times, I think, are annoyed or jealous of Penn State fans or Penn State in general, is the stability Penn State has had. And they had Paterno all those years, and obviously the more recent coaches as well. But that's something I wish Pitt could have. And you were just talking about Dave Wannstedt. I was a Dave Wannstedt fan.
Right.
And I think they had the opportunity for that stability there. But I'm not sure. I've never been convinced that Narduzzi, I like him as a person. I've never been convinced he's the solution. But with that extension, as you mentioned, I think he's going to be the coach for a while. And I'm not sure I don't know if Pitt's ever going to be anything but mediocre.
Well, that's a long extension to give someone. And again, with all due respect, I just don't understand why the need to extend. I think most people realize those contracts are made to be broken. Wrap just to show, well, we support this. Okay, you don't have to give them a 7-year extension to show your support. I never believe that. I don't understand that. And it happens all over college sports where they're handing out these extensions for no apparent reason other than they want to make sure people know you're going to be here for a long time. Well, chances are you won't be here for a long time. That stuff isn't worth the paper it's written on. And yet, that's what they do. But then you put yourself into a real financial hole because you're going to have to come out with a buyout. You're going to have to come out with a departure sum of money when the guy gets fired, whoever it is. It's just not smart business for people who make smart decisions for a living. We're going to take a break, come back with more. 412-575-2600. Opine, this is your place to do it right here live, Pittsburgh CW. We're back after this.